And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those lovely duct tapes from times gone by. We have returned with a series. We have returned mid-series, as spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of the final quarterfinals match that everyone has been waiting for. We have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the player who is currently leading this series 1-0. From the land of Denmark, representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is the best Protoss in all of Europe. It is MaxPax. Here we go, Papi. Here we go. So unfortunately, we weren't able to jump into game number 1. We were a little bit late to the party for that, but the game itself was quite fire. MaxPax, depending on how you look at it, MaxPax did go for a Stargate opener in game 1 into Phoenix Colossi, into a very robust army. Phoenix Colossi charged out Archon eventually. Meanwhile, ByuN was attempting to break him with a mass biocentric composition with Ghost, with those EMPs, trying to bust through and trying to be as aggressive as possible against MaxPax to stop him from getting into an overwhelming Colossi and soon-to-be Disruptor count. Alas, ByuN was unable to do so. He was unable to break MaxPax in the end. He did crash into a brick wall, and ByuN did crumble as a result. And that was game 1. That was again being casted by some of the other English casters and by the Chinese mainstream as well. But we are here in game 2. We're here to bear witness as to how this does unfold. MaxPax one game away from advancing on to the semifinals. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go. As ByuN is going for a Rax Expand, we've been talking about this before, but in this matchup, it has been quite meta, especially in the Korean scene, for this more economic opener here. The double gas openers have fallen out of fashion, so ByuN is just going to be focusing on his economy in game 2. Meanwhile, across the map, MaxPax is likewise setting up for a Gate Expand. Or a Gate Cyber Expand. We'll see if on Gressman he decides to go into Phoenix production again or into a Stargate opener. I do feel like this isn't a bad map for Blink Stalkers. I do think that we can make use of the entryway. Oh my god, as ByuN! Before the natural is even done, the CC is halfway done, Papi. And ByuN, he's just going straight for the third. He's so greedy. Oh my god. We have one Reaper, and it's across the map. So ByuN going for a hyper fast third base before anything else, before the factory or the second Rax. Meanwhile, one Zealot gets across the map, is going to be forcing a delay on this CC. The Reaper is stuck across the map. Oh boy, boys have to be pulled. This one Zealot is doing so much more than it otherwise should have done. Good control out of ByuN. He does pull back the weakened SCVs just in time. The CC will continue, it will finish, and ByuN is looking to try and get away with this fast 3cc build. It's going to be 3cc into a 3 Rax. Oh boy. Meanwhile, the Adept is going to be threatening a shade into the main base. It is going to be denied entry into said main. It's going to be forced back out by these Marines and Reapers. Reaper did survive earlier on. Across the map, MaxPax is going for a Twilight Council opener, not a Stargate. Ooh, oh boy. So he's going to be quite aggressive here with some Blink Stalkers, because we've got 1 gate in the main and we have 3 gates at the natural. It's going to be 4 gate Blink Stalker. Very aggressive from MaxPax. And ByuN with the 3 Rax, I am concerned. I'm a little bit concerned here for ByuN. I'm concerned in his ability to defend against this. We'll see if he can pull it off. As ByuN does go for a full scout, he does confirm in the main. That's why I canceled. He knows, Bobby. He knows. He hasn't gotten eyes on all of the gateways, so he doesn't know how many gates there are exactly, but he can piece it together, and we should be seeing some bunkers back at home. There we go. We have 1 bunker in the natural. I imagine we should be seeing a bunker in the main base as well, because otherwise we're not really going to have too much to really fend things off. We do have a CC here to help spot and help kind of reduce area that can be utilized, but alas, MaxPax is going to be rushing across the map with that Prism, looking to be hyper aggressive with his Blink Stalkers. And ByuN is going to take a more defensive role here. He's going to have to be very quick when it comes to pulling workers to repair this bunker. Likewise, he's going to have to be very quick to keep up with these rotations as well. As the adepts of MaxPax do catch wind and get an eye on the army composition and the positioning of ByuN. Behind this, MaxPax should be setting up for a third base. Boy, but that's a lot of stalkers, and MaxPax is considering maybe just rushing into the natural, but no, he picks up, he goes into the main, and he's going to catch wind of this third base. See that it's already done. My god. He blinks up into the mineral line. He's going to be able to pick up a couple of these SCVs. Has to be careful. There are marauders here to help deal with him. MaxPax will respect that at the same time. Yo, ByuN, he dives on top of the stalkers. Doesn't have stim, unfortunately, but he does have... No, he doesn't even have concussive shell either. Ugh, I don't know if this was the best move from ByuN. Oof. Gonna be losing a lot of units here. He got the adepts, but only the adepts. There we go. As MaxPax does step up a little bit, and he does lose one of his stalkers. Can now focus on that frontal assault. He's actually going to be meeting up with the rest of the army. Does he have enough stalkers to break on through? ByuN has now finished him, so we can punish an aggressive blink. As the third base is going to be threatened. It looks like with the mass amount of marauders, MaxPax, he doesn't want to tango with this. He's going to be transitioning back at home. We have the Forge. We have Charge. We also blink into the natural. Well, one more stalker goes down again. A little bit slow of a reaction from MaxPax to lose one of those stalkers. And from here, MaxPax is just going to be looking to contain ByuN. If he can get a bunker, that's great, but shouldn't really be getting much more than that. Marine Marauder do force him back. Third base to be taken. And yeah, so far I think this is a pretty good hold from ByuN. Looking at the Industrial tablets, kind of take stock of what's been going on. He's been losing a lot of Marines, but we can afford to lose Marines. He lost 3 Marauders, which is less than ideal, but thankfully, even though he's been losing some Marauders, he has been getting a couple of Stalkers here and there. He was able to get 2 Stalkers in the end, so... Oh boy, I would say a better trade for ByuN, considering that he got away with a faster CC. The third CC was not punished. He's able to get it up and running, fully mule it, fully saturate it, and as a result, the economy of ByuN is actually better than that of MaxPax, which is something you don't see too often, for a Terran player to be ahead than the Protoss in the economy. Again, purely because of that faster CC. So again, a really good start for ByuN overall. He does have to be careful as his Marauders are being caught out here, thankfully. Ooh, MaxPax will back up. But every stim does hurt ByuN, and his Medivacs are tied up back at home defensively instead. Does have to be careful how he does maneuver. As he does come across the army, concussive shell forcing the blinks. MaxPax getting ready for a Zealot counterattack. We do have a lot of depots here to help provide a little bit of SimCity. Help mess with the A move of those Zealots, and they are going to be forced back. Meanwhile, Colossus production is well underway. We already have 1 Colossi out for MaxPax. That's pretty terrifying. Oh, this Ghost Academy is also looking a little bit exposed as well. If the third base ever gets broken, then that Ghost Academy is going to go down. There we go. Force fields do cut up the Marauders. MaxPax shaves off some more of the Bio army. Getting his 4th base up and running behind this. Should soon be throwing down a 2nd Robo to get into double Colossi production. For the time being, just making 1 at a time, focusing on his upgrades, getting into 2-1. Oh, but this Marauder army is pretty insane. This is pretty similar to the last game, actually. I was mentioning earlier, like, ByuN just hyper-focused on a mass bio force of Marines, Marauders, and Ghosts. It's very maneuverable. It packs quite a punch. But it's also a little bit fragile. The Marauders not so much, but if Storms and Disruptors come into play, then... yeah. A lot can happen, as you can imagine. Good fourth base on the way behind this from MaxPax. Zealot run by is going to be forcing ByuN back home for the time being, giving MaxPax a little bit more breathing room. And there we go. Did I say double robo production? I should really say triple. 3 robos in total. 2 more are on the way. We're going to be making 3 disruptors at a time. That's crazy. That's a lot of disruptors, let me tell you. Oh boy, and the first disruptor is already out. I'm concerned that ByuN has maybe missed his window, but I also understand that he's waiting for more ghosts to come out. He's splitting off his army. He has maxed out. But as time goes on, that disruptor count is getting higher and higher. There we go, the first disruptor has been spotted. Green Marauder trying to come in from behind. MaxPax does recognize that. He will back off. Doesn't want to get surrounded. Really nice army movement from ByuN, trying to catch the army. MaxPax is able to back off in time. Here we go. We do have the stim, but where are the Novas? Oh, a couple of Novas go off, but they weren't the best connections. The Marauders, they stim on forward. They take down every single disruptor and the Colossi. God, there's just so much DPS in ByuN's army, and he just annihilates everything Protoss. We were relying so heavily on those disruptors, and one of them will connect, but it's too little too late. In the blink of an eye, MaxPax, he plummets 60-70 supply. GG gets called, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. GG. Oh. One big fight is all ByuN was looking for. God, so quickly did he just annihilate the Colossi and Disruptors. Just everything Protoss. Yeah, very risky way to play in a very unique way as well. It's very like positional oriented, as you can imagine. Very positional based. Oh, and kind of a big reason as to why he was able to max out as quickly as he did was because ByuN did go for an insanely greedy build. Remember, he threw down his 3rd CC as his natural was halfway done. That was such a fast 3rd CC from ByuN, and he got away with it. He had an insane economy. He was able to just boost himself forward in the mid game. Oh, get maxed out. And now we have an ace match. Now we have a game 3. Have our ace match. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of altitude, we have the South Korean Terran player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Tying up the series in that last game, and spawning in the top right hand corner of altitude, we have as opponent, we have the Danish Protoss, the best Protoss in all of Europe. Representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. Again, ByuN went for such a risky move last game on Gressvan to go for that insanely fast 3rd CC. As a result, let's, talk a little bit in retrospect. ByuN was pretty passive. I don't know if you noticed, but outside of the first Reaper of ByuN, he was stuck at home. He wasn't going for any drop harass, any kind of Widowmine drops, Raven harass, Liberator, nothing. Obviously because it was a 3 racks follow-up, he was just stuck at home the entire time. Stuck on 2 bases, just pumping out as many workers as possible, defending against the Blink Stalkers. When he finally did have stim and combat shields, and he had a high enough Marauder count, he did force away those Stalkers, get his 3rd up and running, and again, just really defensive play overall until ByuN maxed out. Then when he did, moved out, had an insane fight, and everything just ended then and there. So yeah, very defensive play out of ByuN in game number 2. Really surprising as well, because ByuN is kind of known for his drop harass, he's known for his multi-pronged aggression, he's known for being in the face of his Protoss opponent, just not allowing them to get into their game. But I think after game 1, which was off stream, I do think that he was humbled a little bit. I do think that he's like, okay, like clearly I know what my strengths are, but like even that is not good enough against MaxPax. Like, MaxPax, his defenses are just too strong in the early to mid game. It's so difficult to break him. I do think that that is probably the biggest strength of MaxPax, is his defense. You know, step aside Showtime, we have a new wall, in a way. So, yeah, we did have ByuN with a really interesting kind of response to that. Really interesting answer to MaxPax in game 2. It was really cool. He's doing it again. As ByuN has 400 minerals. And what can you do with 400 minerals? You can throw it down to CC. Let's go. 2 games in a row, Papi. We have a very fast third base here from ByuN. We have a Rax. Well, we have a 3cc off of a single Rax, off of a reactor. And this is going to be going into a 3 Rax as well. Once again, just like game number 2. And builds like this make sense on larger maps, like Gressvan, like Altitude, like Ancient Cistern as well. That's it. Slipped my mind. Like Ancient Cistern as well. So it does make plenty of sense. MaxPax, he doesn't get into the main base. He doesn't know how greedy ByuN is being. This is like a spirit build. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a spirit build, actually. Like, unironically. But MaxPax is mixing things up. He doesn't have to play standard, doesn't have to play normal. MaxPax does go for a Twilight Council opener here in the main, but goes for a Dark Shrine, not Blink. Ooh, and unfortunately, this game, we had a reactor first. ByuN, in game 3, did not make a Reaper. Without a Reaper, no scouting. We see nothing across the map. ByuN has no idea what MaxPax is up to. On Gressvan in game 2, he did go for a Reaper. If you remember, he was harassing the mineral line, he was killing probes, and he was confirming the opener. Alas, this time, ByuN, he can't confirm anything. He's going to have to play in the dark. Now, there are some pros and cons to this. The pro is that soon we're going to have a 3rd CC, and we're going to have triple energy for scans. Once this does morph into an orbital, we will have much more scan potential, so maybe we will have enough to deal with the DTs. But before that happens, the Adepts are here. Workers are falling. 2 SCVs go down. The Prism has been spotted, and the DTs are confirmed. Very important scout by ByuN. He's fully aware that he has to hold on to that energy. There's a scan a little bit premature. Oh, as another DT slips into the natural. NG Bay is done. Turrets are on the way. We have that scan, and the DT does go down. Oh, likewise, we do have another scanner banked up as well, and we don't get a kill on the DTs. That was 3 scans for 1 DT kill, so an efficient trade for MaxPax. Very solid trade, but I'm sure he wanted to do more damage as he's forced to morph in those Archons. But again, it was so important for ByuN to actually spot that Prism out on the map and to see the DTs being morphed in as well. Oh. Very, very crisp play out of ByuN. Meanwhile, MaxPax, with that drop, did see the CC. He saw the 3rd base. He knows how greedy ByuN has been, and that means the pressure is on him to do economic damage, to equalize, and to even get ahead. More importantly, to stop himself from getting behind. As ByuN is hunting for that Prism, but alas, the Prism does escape his clutches, does manage to get away, and is rotating in towards the main base. Behind this, MaxPax getting up his own 3rd base, working towards Blink, working towards +1. ByuN heavily out of position, and these Archons are going to be able to get another SCV and maybe a Marauder. Oh, they want it! Ooh, and they will get the Marauder. Again, another really great pick-off for MaxPax, trading shields, this time for gas. But things are going to be calming down. You know, for the most part, MaxPax can't really be too aggressive or too active on the map. And he doesn't really need to be fair. Remember, last game, ByuN, he didn't move out until he was max. Like, he was pretty passive overall, just building up his army, building up his Marauder count. Especially after losing a Marauder, I don't know how active ByuN really wants to be. Meanwhile, MaxPax is here just to make sure that that's the case. He's got Blink. Soon he's going to have +1. These Stalkers are going to be chipping away at the 3rd base and going to be trading with the army of ByuN. Oof. but already 2 Stalkers do get picked off. So a little bit of miscontrol there from MaxPax as he wasn't quite able to blink in time, and ByuN is going to be able to chase this down. Oh my god, an Archon goes down, the second Archon as well. This is getting far too out of hand. MaxPax just panicking a little bit, wasn't able to save anything in his Prism. That was well worth it for ByuN. Looking at the units lost side, look at the gas lost. ByuN lost 2 Marauders, whereas, oh my god, MaxPax has just lost 1,000 gas worth of units. Gonna be going for a Zealot drop into the main base. Again, he has to force ByuN to stay at home because MaxPax doesn't have a lot to defend. There we go, DT does waddle on in. Drop slipping into the main base as well. Mines are borrowed, but alas, they're not really going to be able to help out too much. Yeah, the entire army has to turn back around. Meanwhile, the DT is going ham at that third base. 2 more SCVs go down. We do have a warp into the main. And this is allowing MaxPax to get his 4th base up and running. This is giving him the time that he needs to get into his splash damage. Colossi production has commenced. And the run-bys, they don't stop. You have the Prism. We have the DTs, we have the Zealots. Oh, as the Prism goes down in the main, Mine Shot's going to be going off and ByuN doesn't care. These Zealots will be cleaned up by the reinforcements, by the production. And ByuN is rushing across the map now. He is going to run into a Colossus. One Colossus is going to finish up in a couple of seconds, so I do worry for him. I worry with how many workers he's going to be losing back at home because of these Zealot run-bys. He goes for the scan, he pushes in. We have the overcharge and we have the Colossi. Oh, ByuN is losing a couple of his Marauders here and there. The mines, they go down. We see 20 workers falling and MaxPax has enough to defend. Back across the map. This is game-ending damage. 24 SCVs. Ay. ByuN, he smelled blood in the water, but it was his own blood. Just a lapse in judgment. He's going to be losing all of his drops as well. And any kind of momentum that ByuN once had is now gone. Like, he made the choice, and yep, GG gets called. As MaxPax will take the series 2-1 and advance on to the semifinals. GG. ByuN was honestly in a pretty good position overall, and then we saw the Zealot harass in the main and at the third base, and ByuN chose to ignore it. He's like, you know what? This isn't going to get out of hand. This will be fine. I'm just going to send everything I have across the map and look to end the game. But alas, those Zealot counterattacks got out of hand. They crippled the economy of ByuN. They forced him all in. And he wasn't able to pull it off in the end. GG, well played. He was all in with that push, ran into a Colossi, ran into an overcharge, and yeah, MaxPax, he takes down ByuN in a really close series, in a really solid series as well. Oh boy. Again, today MaxPax was the better player. But again, I'm sure the next time they face, we're going to have another back and forth series. It was great to see them go all the way to the ace match as well. It was great to see ByuN have a really unique outlook on TV MaxPax. I don't know if I want to say TvP, but against MaxPax at least. ByuN going for this really greedy build of going for a gigafast third base. Really intriguing. And he got away with it both games, in Game 2 and Game 3. So yeah, I wonder if that's going to catch on. There are a lot of things that ByuN does in StarCraft, and make sure that I'm able to join. Making sure I'm able to join the game itself. But yeah, there are a lot of things that ByuN does himself. Like, it's really cool to see that he doesn't necessarily follow the meta. He's willing to be innovative and do things his own way. Kind of like TVZ, for example, but TvP as well, apparently. So I'm curious if that's going to catch on, if more players are going to experiment with it. I imagine Spirit already has, like, that feels like a Spirit build. But yeah, regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to MaxPax as he advances on in the tournament, and we have our first semifinals upon us. You can hear, so you can see it here on the screen before you. It's gonna be Dark versus Showtime. Let's go, Bobby. Let's go.